if you're an aspiring composer interested in film, the first thing is to really decide if it's what you really want. All too often, there are people, and I meet lots of them, so I'm not saying this as a stereotype or cliche, but there are a lot of university-trained composers who studied formal classical technique and training and think that that is what film music is, because there are films that have cool orchestral writing and avant-garde writing for horror films, what have you. And there are songwriters who become frustrated with their craft and the fact that the record business has sort of come to a bit of a screeching halt. And all these people think, well, I know what I'll do. I'll be a film composer because I can do that. So the first thing for an aspiring composer is to make that decision. Am I committed to the language of score? Am I committed to putting my ego on a shelf, listening to what I'm told, listening to what I'm told to do, executing it, re-executing it, re-executing it in some cases? And do I really have an understanding of how music enhances or detracts from a scene in a film? Really be committed to understanding, as you said before, the history of film music, the concept of film music, the language. It's a language. It's a nonverbal language. And just make sure that you really get it. I remember once I was up at the Aspen Music Festival, where I'm an artist in residence occasionally, and there was a young composer from Juilliard, getting their master's degree. And they wrote very vigorous and rigorous, very highly avant-garde orchestral music. And I played them a piece. We were listening to different pieces, and I played them a piece that Mark Isham, who's a great composer, but he writes very melodically, he writes very simple music, but it works. And I played this piece for that group, and after hearing, pointing out the enormous difference between a score like his, or a score like mine, which can be very, very simple, and her music, which was very rigorous, very, very avant-garde. I said, well, don't you think you could write something like that? And she said, yeah, but I'd never put my name on it. So I realized that if you're embarrassed to write a major chord, then this is probably not the field for you. Because sometimes we get to write cool, weird, electronic or orchestral, scary, textural stuff, but then sometimes we're called upon to simply make the audience cry or feel emotion at all. And that's very hard to do in a foreign language, If somebody who spoke Greek tried to comfort somebody who spoke Hungarian, they couldn't do it. But if you learn Hungarian, you can do it. So the language of film is very much the same thing. Well, I should say the language of music itself. The people who go to a movie, the people who go to a romantic comedy, in most cases, really have a sense of music that's happy or sad, or that has pathos, or that has sympathy. And we as composers can't just go off and break those rules and build our own. There are many styles of music that can work in a romantic comedy, but it's somewhat narrow compared to all the other possibilities of music. So a film composer has to realize that they don't get to invent everything. They have to follow the rules a bit.